The secret to a really great marketing plan really isn't that big of a secret at all. In fact, I've got it on this board right here. And what I want to get across is the process to create a really great marketing plan. Big business, small business, doesn't really matter. It's really simple. It's the execution where people get stuck. And with all of the different opportunities and ways you can market and using all the different tools and all of that, it can be even harder to actually create a marketing plan. So here's 6 steps. I'm not going to go in depth into every one of them today. We'll cover those in later videos, but I just wanted to give you a quick overview. We call it 6 steps. Have been trying to think of a cooler name for it, and when we do, we'll be sure to let you know. But at any rate, here's the 6 steps that we work with a client to help them create a marketing plan, or better yet, a system. Because if you can systemize your marketing, the odds of it happening on a regular basis, the odds of it happening consistently, the odds of it actually being effective will go up literally exponentially. So here's the 6 steps. One is figure out who you should be selling your stuff to. When I say stuff, it's your product, your service, but who should be buying it? Who's your ideal client? Who can you do the best job for, and who appreciates the job that you do more than anyone else? Think 80-20 rule about that, and we'll talk about it again on another day. But anyway, ideal client. Figure out who you should be selling your stuff to. Number 2 is create a lead magnet. These are kind of industry words, but what does that really mean? Is figure out a way in your offers, in your advertising, in your marketing, whether it's social media, whether it's direct mail, whether it's face-to-face, some way to get people to raise their hand to at least let you know that they're interested, or maybe they've got some questions. Because once you can get your ideal client to raise their hand, now you can actually go through a process that I wouldn't even call it a sales process yet, but an investigation process to see if your company and what they're looking for is a good fit. The third step is called the tripwire. Now, that sounds like kind of a scary word, like really we're going to trip people. No, what it really means is have some sort of an offer. Again, it doesn't matter whether you're an air conditioning company, a landscaping company, an insurance company, a real estate company, doesn't matter, but have some kind of an offer to create that first transaction, even if it's just a small piece of what you do. Maybe it's a 15-minute consultation. Maybe it's a home audit if you're a security company, but something that you can offer for very little money. Doesn't have to be literally, it could be for $1 or $2 or $10, $100, $1,000, depending upon what your product is. We'll talk more about a tripwire, but the goal really is just to create that first transaction. And sometimes that transaction doesn't even involve money. Again, we can talk about that later. Number 4 is a core offer. And this is actually really critical. And when we talk about core offer, what we really mean is, okay, you've identified your ideal client, they've raised their hand, they actually even maybe had a small transaction with you, and now it's time to let them know exactly what your main product service is. I mean, what is it that you really sell? What is your solution, or what problem do you solve? What product you're selling, and make it absolutely clear to them what it is. And believe it or not, leaving it up to some sort of hope they can figure it out doesn't always fly. Easy way to remember core offer is, here's what I've got, here's who it's for, here's what it'll do for you, and here's what I want you to do next. Those are the 4 steps of a good core offer. Again, we'll cover more of this later. A profit maximizer. Think, do you want fries with that? Do you want to supersize it? Is there something else? Do you want a second glass of wine? What I'm talking about here with the profit maximizer is, once somebody has committed to the sale, committed to buy what you have, they are in buying mode, and they're ready to buy more if you offer it. And that's where most businesses fail, is they work so hard to get the initial sale that they don't know, or they don't have the courage to offer a second sale. It could be a deluxe version. It could be super charged version, whatever you want to call it, of what it is you sold them. It could be, hey, if you bought this, then this will probably make sense for you to buy as well. Think in terms of Amazon and their suggested sales. If you look at Amazon at all, you buy one thing and they say, hey, other people who bought this also bought this, 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 and this. That's a perfect example of a profit maximizer. Again, more about that later. And then finally, a return path. And all a return path is, and believe it or not, about 97% of businesses mess this one up. We've messed it up before. A return path is, if somebody says yes and buys your product, buys your service, what is it that you do to keep them coming back for more and more and more? How do you communicate with them or stay in touch with them so that they can come back again and again and again? It's not their job to remember to come back to you. It's your job to remind them that they need to come back to you. Or even more importantly, if you get somebody who says, no, I don't think I want to buy what it is that you're selling, usually that means that they just don't want to buy it today. And we'll talk about the 4 buyer mindsets again on another day. But if somebody says no, in most cases, they're saying no, not today, just not today. Doesn't mean no, not ever. So assuming that what they're really saying is no, not today, your return path, even on people who say no, is how you stay in touch with them, how you continue communicating with them until they're ready to buy. And this is I won't call it a scientific fact, but it's a number that I heard and I believe it. It makes sense to me. But about 70%, could be higher, of the people who inquire about your product or service, whatever it is you're selling, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever problem you're solving for people, but about 70% who inquire about it, either by phone, by email, maybe they walk into your store if you've got a physical store, about 70% do make that purchase in some way, shape, or form sometime in the next 90 to 180 days, 70%. So think about that. If you have 10 people who call your office, one of them buys, there's 6 more who likely will sometime over the course of the next 3 to 6 months. We could go in deep about that, but most important is, do you have some sort of a follow-up plan for those that buy, and also a follow-up plan for those who don't buy, to get them to come back to your business? Now, those are the 6 steps. Like I said, it's a really simple set of steps. Who should be selling to? Ideal client. How do you get their attention? Create the first sale. Make sure they know what it is that you are offering and selling. Is there a way to help them even more and make some more money for yourself? And finally, do you have some sort of a way to stay in touch with those that buy and don't buy to make sure that they don't go to your competition? Those are the 6 steps. We'll talk again about how to turn that into an actual marketing plan. But if anything, if you take something away from this video, one is, here's the list, and 2, start with your ideal client. Ask yourself, are you targeting the right people with your advertising and your marketing now? Or are you just trying to scatter, shoot, and hope somebody actually responds? I'm Rob Oliver from the Endless Attention Marketing Company. I'm in the control room upstairs. Maggie's behind the camera. We'll talk to you again soon.